Hey everybody, Dirk here at GC Blues. How you guys doing this fine late morning? That's right, it's late morning here. East Coast, it's afternoon. Mountain, it is late morning. Pacific, it is still morning. Alaska and Hawaii, good morning to you. And wherever you're at, good morning or afternoon or evening. 10 games on the dock. 3 series have now been completed also. We're going to get all right into that from last night. Last night I pretty much went to bed early after a pretty long night. And folks, let me tell you something. I do pray for the people who are being affected by these fires in LA. Um, they had not found a cause, and if they haven't found a cause, folks, that tells you something about how these fires were started. So please pray for them, folks, because they need all the prayers they can get and that they get by. So, so let's get right into it, folks. Remember, if you haven't come across this video, you have to like it, make that thumbs up deal is very important. Let's get the channel going. Um, so here we go. Starting off with Carolina at Tampa Bay. Going into this matchup, Carolina was 24, 14, and 2 and 50 points. Tampa was 20, 15, and 2 and 42 points. At the end of 60 minutes, the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Carolina Hurricanes by a score of 3-4. I mean 3-2, not 4. 3-2. Shots on goal were the Bolts 34, the Canes 32. The Lightning had 30 saves with the Hurricanes 31. Tampa went 1 for 3 on the power play, and Carolina went 0 for 1 on the power play. This game was neck and neck all the way through, and then Carolina decided to pull the goalie, try to take it to overtime, but didn't, and that didn't ever happen. But very good going by Carolina. They did try at least, so I'm not disappointed. But a good game overall by both teams. Tampa won it more, and that's why they win. Next was Edmonton and Boston entering the matchup. Edmonton was 24, 12, and 3 and 51 points. Boston 20, 17, and 5 and 45 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Boston Bruins by a score of 4-0. That's right. It's a Pepsi Zero Sugar shutout. Shots on goal were the Oilers 39, the Bruins 26. The Oilers had 26 saves with the Bruins 35. Edmonton went 1 for 3 on the power play with Boston 0 for 2 on the power play, and Edmonton wins the series by the way 2-0. They won the season series, and boy oh boy, it's pretty bad. Um, Edmonton flat out dominated this game. Couldn't Boston couldn't withstand them, and that's why they lost. Total dominance by Edmonton, and so that's why they won. So way to go for Edmonton. I thought Boston will win, but what do I know? I just guess who I think is going to win. Next was Ontario at Detroit. Entering the matchup, the Ottawa Senators were 19, 17, and 2 and 40 points. Detroit 17, 18, and 4 and 38 points. Folks, after 60 minutes, it was tied 2-2. Goes into overtime, and guess what? Detroit wins by a score of 3-2. Shots on goal were both teams had 33. The Red Wings had 31 saves with the Senators 30. Detroit was 2 for 3 on the power play with Ottawa 1 for 2 on the power play. Ottawa picks up a point. Very good going by both teams. Neck and neck all the way through. And Detroit just wanted it more. That's why. That's why they win. And so, but it was a good game overall. And I'm now 0-2-1 after 3 games. Let's see if I can improve. Next was Dallas at New York. Entering the matchup, Dallas was 24-13-1 and 49 points. The New York Rangers 18-20-1 and 37 points. This game had to go into overtime. It was tied 4-4 in going into overtime, and at the end of overtime, Dallas wins by a score of 5-4. Shots on goal were the Stars 39, the Rangers 25. The Stars had 21 saves with the Rangers 34. Dallas was 2 for 2 on the power play with the Rangers 1 for 2 on the power play. And the Rangers, by the way, win the season series on points, and I'll get to that in a second. The record was 1-0-1, but they won with 3 points. They won the first meeting, and then they go to the second game, and Dallas wins that one, but because of the points, the Rangers win that one. So New York wins the series overall, but um, good game by both teams. It was neck and neck all the way through, and Dallas just wanted it more, so that's why they won. Next was Columbus at Pittsburgh. Entering the matchup, Columbus was 17-17-6 and 40 points. Pittsburgh 17-17-7 and 41 points. Records right near each other, and both of them were missed the playoffs, so they're right near each other. And after 60 minutes, instead of go overtime, no score in overtime, so had to go to a shootout. The results of that shootout were, now here's the thing, this went partly 3 rounds. Here's what happens, okay? Um, after 2 rounds, Pittsburgh was 0-2. Columbus was 1-3. 1-2. Basically, that meant the shootout was over, but no, not technically. So what happened was Columbus got a third shot. If they made it, game over. If they miss, Pittsburgh can do it and tie it, and then so uh, Pittsburgh missed, it's over. But Columbus made their shot. They win 2-3 to 0-2, and that's the difference. Columbus wins. They get the extra goal. They win by a score of 4-3. Now the stats I'm giving you. Now remember, the stats I'm giving you were after overtime. Okay, that's the thing with shootouts. You get the stats after overtime. This was going into the books, by the way. Shots on goal were 29 for the Blue Jackets. Penguins 23. Um, Blue Jackets had 20 saves with Penguins 26, and Columbus went 2 for 2 on the power play with Pittsburgh 1 for 1 on the power play. Well, Columbus picks up the 2, Pittsburgh picks up the point. They're tied in points now, 42 each, but Columbus jumps Pittsburgh now in the points because they picked up a win. So that's why. And also, this was a good game, neck and neck, both all the way through, and had to go to shootout. And don't blame Columbus for winning; they did great. Way to go by Pittsburgh. Good going by them. So I'm not upset by any of these teams' loss. Okay, so going to the next game, I am 0-2-3 now. Can I get a win for tonight? Let's find out. Going into the Toronto game, Toronto was 26, 13, and 2 and 54 points. Philadelphia 17, 18, and 5 and 39 points. At the end of 60 minutes, Toronto wins by a score of 3-2. Shots on goal, the Leafs 17, the Flyers 32. The Maple Leafs had 30 saves with the Flyers 14. Toronto went 4 on the power play, and Philadelphia went 0 for 4 on the power play. What to say about this game? Neck and neck. Um, Pretty much through the game, and Toronto wanted it more, and that's why they won. It was pretty much tied up, and then but Toronto wanted more, and that's why they won. So where to go? Next, my Blues in Minnesota enter the matchup. Blues were 19, 18, and 4 and 42 points. Minnesota 25, 11, and 4 and 54 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Blues lose to a score of 6-4. Shots on goal were the Wild 26, the Blues 33. The Wild had 29 saves with the Blues 20. St. Louis did not go into the penalty box, stayed penalty free, which is great. But the Wild, went into the penalty box, and we scored on 1-for-1 on the power play. Way to go! Um, the first period was a mess. Right off the gate, um, there should have been an interference call, but there wasn't. I don't know why the referees didn't call it. Even Montgomery was like, "Hey, come on, call that." So the referees pretty much blew that. But the Blues, they started great. They winning, and at the end of the third, um, couldn't overhandle the Wild. That's why the Wild won 6-4. Next is Nashville at Winnipeg. Entering the matchup, Nashville was 13, 20, and 7 and 33 points. Winnipeg 27, 12, and 2 and 56 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Winnipeg Jets beat the Nashville Predators by a score of 5-2. Shots on goal, the Jets 30, the Preds 28. Both teams had 26 saves, and Winnipeg went 1-for-1 on power play with Nashville 1-for-7. What to say about this one? Total domination by Winnipeg. I knew they were going to beat the Predators. The Predators are just struggling, and you could tell. And so that's why it happened. Next was Calgary at Anaheim. Entering the matchup, Calgary was 18, 14, and 7 and 43 points. Anaheim 17, 18, and 4 and 38 points. This game had to go to overtime after 60 minutes. It was tied 2-2, and Calgary wins by a score of 3-2. Shots on goal, Flames 33, the Ducks 28. The Flames had 26 saves with the Ducks 30. Calgary went 1-for-3 on the power play with Anaheim 1-for-2 on the power play. What to say about this one? Total neck and neck all the way through. Um, Calgary just wanted more, and that's why they won in overtime. So where to go? Anaheim does pick up a point, so at least they did something. But points are key now. It's harder to win, so you gotta really, folks. When we enter the Four Nations playoff, Four Nation tournament challenge. Once we get into that and we get back into play, you can really tell who's going to go where, who's going to win what. So gotta look at things. And finally, Vegas at San Jose entered the matchup. Vegas was 27-3. I mean 27-9-3 and 57 points. San Jose 13, 23 and 6 and 32 points. At the end of 16 minutes, the Vegas Golden Knights beat the San Jose Sharks by a score of 4-2. Shots on goal were the Knights 42, the Sharks 22. The Golden Knights had 20 saves with the Sharks 38. Um, Vegas went 1-for-3. 1-for-1 on the power play with San Jose 2-for-2 on the power play. And Vegas wins the series 3-0-0. They swept the Sharks, and believe it or not, it was a blowout basically. Overall, only 8 goals scored overall by the Sharks, and Vegas just flat out beat them, 17 goals total. Um, This game, pretty much like all the others, uh, it was 3-2, and then of course San Jose pulls the goalie to get the empty netter. Vegas gets the empty netter, and that's why they won. So way to go by Vegas. They're kings of the West, basically. So way to go. And that all to do it, folks. We are done. Record wise, out of the 10 games, I went 4-3-3 to put me now at got 11 points on that. Put me now at 179, 106, 24, and 388 points if we went by points, of course. But um, 79, 179, getting closer and closer to 200. Um, Tell me how you guys are doing. Tell me, are you guys winning? You guys losing? Tell me how you guys are doing on your records, and also tell me how you guys are doing on your bets. If you're betting, are you behind? Are you ahead? Or are you about even? You guys could tell me. Really, tell me. That's another reason why I give you guys the money line, because I know there are a few people who bet and they they watch my videos. So when you guys bet, you guys are like, maybe I'll go with Dirk. I'll go against it. But, it's your decision. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. And since we now reached the end of this video, thank you very much. If you guys have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe tab. It's right there, and be notified every time I upload a video by clicking the bell icon. And that's it. We'll see you later for the pregame report for tonight, or for tonight's games. As always, folks, I love you guys. Thank you very much. Until then, peace.